Alright, so let's check out what we got here. First off, we got Riton's new RTM mount, which is set up to do 30mm or 1-inch diameter scopes, which is pretty awesome because a lot of companies only want to give you the ability to mount a 30mm scope. They have some inserts for the 1-inch diameter. This is a quick detach mount, which we'll open up later on. Very nice little mount, looks like. Again, that's a new product that they just came out with. The scope itself, it is a RTS Mod 3. This is a 2x to 7x rimfire scope. So you're not going to be putting this on your 308, but it is a lower price point scope that is a really nice little setup for kind of learning about scopes. And again, veteran-owned company and out of Arizona. Check them out, RitonUSA.com. And here we go. Now this was wrapped up really nicely with some packaging and so forth. I opened it up to take the scope out to look at it, so I took that packaging and tossed it, of course, but it's pretty well protected when it's shipped. One thing I'm not a big fan of, I'll tell you right off the bat, is these little bikini covers. I believe Riton's getting away from these as well, because they're just, people just don't like them generally. Usually you take them off, they get lost or they break or whatever. Usually the flip up caps are much nicer to protect your scope. So let's take a look at the scope. First off, it is a 1-inch diameter tube on this one. And we have a couple things. One that caught my eye right away, I was like, okay, it's non-illuminated. Well, what is this dial here? Again, learning about scopes and things. From what I understand, it's a parallax adjustment. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? I know parallax has to do with like reticles and stuff. And apparently it allows you to kind of focus in the reticle, I believe, unless I'm wrong. Again, this is something that's new to me, so that when you're, have your magnification set and you're on your target, you can make that reticle look clearer and so forth. I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited about playing around with it and learning about it. And these do have exposed turrets. Nice, by the way, nice solid click. I don't know if you can hear that. Both of them. One click is quarter MOA, I believe. And again, to zero these, once you get your settings all set and your rifle all zeroed, you loosen up these set screws on here, lift up the the knob, set it back down to the 0 point, and now you have your scope all zeroed, which is kind of cool. So you can actually see your adjustments pretty easily. You don't take caps off or anything, which is great, especially when you're learning and you're trying to play around with your adjustments and everything. Also has your eye relief, adjustment here, and let's see if we can take a look at the reticle. I have it set on 2 power. This may be kind of difficult to see on the camera because you're dealing with 2 sets of optics. You're dealing with the optics on the camera and the optics on the scope itself. And I'm moving it around so you guys can get an idea of what the reticle kind of looks like. It does have a bullet drop compensator. There's a few dots on there. I don't remember what the exact spacing is and everything like that, but this is basically set up again for like a 22LR or other rimfire cartridge. And nice quality scope. They have a lifetime warranty with these, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a look and see what else is in the box. Basically, it's pretty simple. And again, I peeked in here before, but you got your Allen wrench for your windage elevation adjustments on your turrets. The Riton guarantee paperwork. Some important information that you want to read through. Little note about their propaganda, I guess you could put it that way. The for social media, if you're gonna take photos of your rifles and stuff, and you enjoy your scope, definitely use their hashtags. They got hashtag RitonUSA, Riton Revolution, and you can check their website out, RitonUSA, of course, .com. And a little quick start guide that kind of shows some of the features of the scope. Pretty simple. And they now have a nice little cleaning cloth with the Riton logo on it. I like that. It's pretty cool. So very basic, setup here. Price point. Check out their website. These scopes are pretty reasonable for what you get. And again, they have one of the best warranties. I believe it's a lifetime warranty, and they don't really believe in trying to repair your scope and that sort of thing and sending you back the same old scope. They will get you a new unit, which is what I've seen, and that is just awesome. And next up, we're going to go ahead and open up this mount and take a look at it and go ahead and mount it up on the rifle so you can go test it out. Okay, so we got it unpackaged here, just kind of show you a little overview of how this works and everything. First off, I took one of the caps off, as you can see, and there are two halves of this insert that allow you to run the 1-inch scopes on it. These inserts basically just kind of sit down and on each half of the mount, and there's a raised groove, or a raised lip on each side rather, that keep it from sliding back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure once you torque it all down, everything's going to get sandwiched together and fit nice and tight. Kind of neat, they actually have their logo on the front cap, which helps keep you set where which cap came from which position and so forth. Now the rear one isn't marked, so in theory you could put it on backwards. I don't know if it's going to make a difference or not, but generally speaking, if the parts were kind of machined to match, it's probably not even an issue. So how does a quick detach work? Basically, you have these little like buttons, so to speak, or a little lever, and you squeeze it down and it allows you to rotate the latch on both latches like so. They're kind of a cam setup, so when you flip them down, you can see the other half of this mount clamps down on your rail. Well, how do you adjust it to fit and so forth? There's these two nuts on each end, and you can rotate these, loosen it or tighten it to get that feel just right, so you're clamping down with the right amount of torque on your rail, which you have to adjust once you go to install it on your particular rifle. There's no set, preset for that. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I disassembled the mount, and I'm going to go ahead and put the 1-inch inserts in here, just like so. And I'm going to go ahead and basically install the caps with the scope. Not tight, just so it's not sliding around loose, and then I'll make my adjustments to it once I get it mounted up on the rail on the rifle itself. Almost forgot, I was going to add a little bit of blue Loctite. Don't use red. Red is a pain to get apart, but blue will be sufficient to hold these screws from loosening up if they ever wanted to loosen up in the first place with this Y2LR. But just I figure it's a good measure to go ahead and just put a little dab on each one of these screws before installing them. So I have the scope just snug enough that it's not really going to slide easily. I have to wiggle it a little bit to move it around. Next I want to go ahead and mount it up onto my rail here so that we can go ahead and adjust it kind of where I want it for my personal preference. And I'm going to go ahead and set this on here roughly right there just to give it a try, and I'll see where we want to lay it down at. Alright, so we got the scope all installed here. Very simple install again. The quick detach mount has these latches on the back side here, or on the one side here, as you can see. If you need to adjust the amount of tension that you're putting on the mount or the clamp with clamping force, you can do so by turning these adjusting nuts right here. And again, when I set this up for myself, I set the stock in the position that I'm going to use it in, because that's how you're going to be shooting it, right? So I went ahead and set it on 2 power and 7 power, and to figure out where the sweet spot was for my vision and for my cheek weld and everything, and then went ahead and tightened it down, locked it down in place. Again, don't over torque these screws. You don't want to damage the scope or damage your mount or break some screws off in there or anything like that. So again, I'm looking forward to go shooting this this rifle and testing out this optic here. And as always, until next time, have fun shooting.